Greetings, my brothers and sisters of ILA Local 1416. During these unprecedented times of the COVID-19 pandemic, there's been a lot of uncertainty, there's been a lot of anxiety, and so the reason for this video is to provide the members with valuable information about what's going on, what's being done, what's being worked on, and what have been done as it pertains to our industry and our local and how COVID-19 have affected things. There's going to be 4 areas that I'm going to focus on briefly, where the most attention has been over the last few weeks to a couple months. One is going to be the defined contribution plan. Number 2 is going to be unemployment, which is actually reemployment assistance, but commonly referred to as unemployment. 3 is going to be the CPR fund, or the COVID pandemic relief fund. And number 4 will be qualified for the period ending 9/30/2020. So we'll start with the defined contribution. The Board of Trustees met at their last meeting, and through the CARES Act, there's a provision there that would allow participants to go into the defined contribution and take a hardship withdrawal because of the COVID-19 for up to $100,000. And so the Benefits and Welfare Fund mailed out earlier this week a notice and an explanation of how that can be done. You can take up to 80% or up to $100,000, the lesser of the two, through December 31st, 2020. There's a Q&A sheet that accompanies the notice from the Pension Welfare Fund. You must set an appointment. You must sign a paper stating to the effect that you've been furloughed. Your work hours have been diminished significantly. You're not able to gain the same amount of employment that you were, and all of it is because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So that's something that'll be available for anyone who has a Prudential account. So yeah, just look out for it in the mail and follow the procedures there. It's pretty much self-explanatory. But yes, that is something that the board voted on at the last board meeting to allow the members to have access to those funds. The second thing is unemployment. If you have not filled out an application, you can find one at covid19.florida.org. You can do it manually, or you can do it via online, which the online, from my understanding, has been, it was a disaster in the beginning, but over the last week or so has cleared up and has been much more efficient. The important thing is that when you fill out the application, to complete it and to make sure that you have all fields within the application filled out. Otherwise, it's going to delay your application getting processed. If you have an email address on there, please put that in there so that you can get updates as to the status of your application, where you are in the process, things of that nature. The maximum amount underneath, Florida law is $275 per week, and to receive the money, the additional $600 from the federal government, you're not required to fill out another form to receive that money under the CARES Act. Okay. They do have an 800 number. That number is 1-833-FL-APPLY. So if you have questions, you want to be able to talk to someone, then that's the number that you call. You probably gonna have to wait a while to get somebody, but that's the number that you call. If you're having problems with the employer ID number, just come to the hall and ask for it. We'll provide it for you. I have the numbers to Ella, South Florida, Pomtop, Florida Stevedore, United Stevedore, all the employers. Okay, and so the best time to get online to fill out the application would be during the week, Monday through Friday, in the late afternoons from 2:30 to 5:30. That system from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. will be virtually all dedicated to processing claims that are already in the queue. Okay, so the new claims won't, it'll be longer to get through if you try to get through during those times. So that's, just touching on unemployment or reemployment assistance real quick. The third is the CPR fund, or the COVID Pandemic Relief Fund. This is a fund that was set up by USMX and ILA. This fund operates just like any other ERISA fund. It has a trust agreement and things of that nature. To be qualified for this fund, you would have to meet at least 3 criteria: either have tested positive for COVID-19, or have been required to quarantine because of coming in close contact with someone with COVID-19, or a member of your household had COVID-19 and you had to stay there to take care of them, or be quarantined because of their positive test. This fund does not take into consideration people who are anxious or nervous because they have underlying health conditions, so they just don't want to report to the hall and go to work, which is fine. But this fund is not set up for those. This fund is set up for people who have actually had positive tests, been affected directly by the COVID-19, or have been quarantined by the employer, your local doctor, whoever. Okay, so it's a very, very, very beneficial fund. Anybody who meets that criteria, come see me. I'll provide you with the application. You're gonna have to have some accompanying documents to provide to the fund, just to be sure that you qualify. But you can get upwards of a max of about $1,550 per week, but you must apply for unemployment and also any other benefit that is available to you. You must apply for those first, and this fund will supplement whatever is not provided through those other ways. And last but not least, a lot of questions have been coming about qualifying for this year, the period ending 9/30/2020. I can tell you that is an agenda item at the next board meeting. There's still time for the board to discuss it, to figure it out, to see who's, how greatly affected we're all going to be by this. As you know, the end of qualifying for the fiscal year is September 30th. So right now, it's May 1st. So you have all of June, July, August, and September. So it's still time to see, how our industry is going to recover, the significance of the layoffs and the work shortage, and how can people be accommodated. I can tell you that these areas of concern are being discussed from the international all the way down to the local level. So anything that you've heard that is speaking in definite terms about what's definitely going to get done for this or that as it pertains to qualifying or benefits or anything like that, right now it's just a rumor, because those discussions are very early on right now. So that's pretty much all that I have right now. We're going to do our best to keep you guys informed. We're trying to keep the hall as empty as possible, as often as possible. We haven't had meetings, and so we have this video. I'll put it out on the text message. I'll put it out on the website, put it up on the chaseit1416.com, and hopefully it's been beneficial to everyone who was interested in having this information. All right, thank you. God bless.